What's going on, everyone? You are tuned in to another episode of Road to Hollywood. I'm your host, Dawn Haskitty, and of course, sitting beside me is Mr. Tabari TV.
What's up, Dawn? How are you?
I'm amazing. You like that?
I got the drum roll and everything. Welcome back, everybody, and tuning into this episode of Road to Hollywood with my main man, Palmer Williams Jr., one of the first dope actors that I got to work with. He was a character on House of Pain when I was up at TPS, and he is full with information and inspiration, and he dropped it on us.
I love me some Palmer. He just has such great energy.
Yeah, so y'all sit back and listen and watch this episode of Road to Hollywood. All right, cool.
Hey, it's a party. No? Okay. What's going on, everyone? You're back to another episode of Road to Hollywood.
Yeah, welcome everybody. And we lost a legend this week, man. It was really tough. It kind of hit home. Kobe Bryant and everybody that was on that helicopter. I never seen I seen we had some death in our culture before, but this one seemed to kind of transcend around the world. And I just wanna, everybody that's involved and all the families that were involved, I just want to send our condolences out from us, and please go give somebody a hug and check on your family, and because you just don't know, time is short here, and I want to give people their roses while they're here.
Absolutely. I always ask my friends, what is your legacy? What do you want to leave behind? And Kobe definitely, he touched, as you said, so many different lives, not only just here in the U.S., but all across the world. And he was just a positive influencer and
he was just
athlete.
He was taking a turn in his life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He was
the stuff that
things out.
the stuff that he was doing with his daughter.
Yeah.
He had just got an Oscar, and it's just very tragic. How things. But what I'm kind of seeing is people really understanding that we have a very short glimpse, and just to take people that are in your life serious, and definitely give people their roses while we're here.
Yeah, be thankful.
So no doubt. But on another note, I don't want to get all teary.
Right.
But on another note, did you see the Super Bowl? How much money you win? How much money you win?
I mean, Super Bowl was lit. Super Bowl was lit.
I bet. But shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to Andy Reid and Mahone and everybody. Did you check out the halftime show?
I'm sure Miss J-Lo and Shakira, I'm sure they was working everything.
Shakira, she looked so different. She looked different, but I was sitting there, I was watching TV, and I didn't know it was her. I was like, that gotta be her, because only one person shake like that.
Well, she's a family woman. She has some kids. I mean, what's different about her?
No, she was getting it. She has that one type of style when she started doing her thing, and you'd be like, okay, that's Shakira.
She want everyone to know that she still got it.
She still definitely got it. And J-Lo out there on the pole, they bought poles out there.
Oh!
She's swinging from poles and everything. So it was definitely entertaining halftime, but it wasn't Prince.
It wasn't Janet and Justin Timberlake, right?
No, they definitely didn't have any wardrobe malfunctions.
Tab, stop.
So, but check us out. Palmer came down here the other day, and man, we had a really good time. The episode actually kind of started earlier in the day because, we wake up on those brotherly phone calls. He was definitely giving me some wisdom and some inspiration, and I always thank him. But he came down here and he told me to tell you hi.
Oh, hey, Palmer. How you doing? I miss him. Let me tell you, it was a few years ago, I just realized, besides Palmer being an actor, besides him being a comedian, I just realized he can sing, and I wanted to be here for that interview.
You act like you ain't never go to one of the Medea plays. Like Palmer was in the Medea.
It's different when he's on the stage and he's really performing, not just acting.
That was another thing I told about Palmer. Yeah, you forget how talented the brother is. Yeah. It was funny. I was saying when I was sitting down with him is when I first started being friendly with Palmer. He's so funny that when you're in a serious conversation with him, I'm almost waiting for a joke or a punchline, but he seriously giving me some, giving it to me, and I'm like, oh man, he's serious right now. So, but that's what it is when you have some comedic minds and very talented gentlemen. But I want y'all to sit back and watch this episode of Road to Hollywood. What up, everybody? This is The Road to Hollywood with my good friend Palmer Williams Jr. in the house. What's the deal, man? You know, you were one of the first people that I thought of when I started coming together with the ideas, because I just think you're one of the funniest people that I ever kind of worked with.
Thank you.
You know, and it kind of threw me off when you would start talking to me serious at times. I never told you that. Like,
really?
You be working, and you so funny. You know, you always got like a joke or something, but when you start getting on some serious things, I was like, man, I'll be waiting for the punchline.
It's a whole nother Palmer.
What was your first like television thing?
First television thing was Robert Townsend's. He had a particular show that brought together a lot. It was almost like an Alfred Hitchcock of today. And it was one of those places where there actually was a contest and we all had to compete to be on the show. It was,
when was this?
Oh, it was a long time ago. It was when the Black Family Channel was in existence.
No, because, you know, I just did a interview with Dwayne Boyd.
My guy.
And Dwayne Boyd is telling me a very similar story.
Oh, we were both there.
Okay, so this
was
is
crazy. Yeah, cool. I forgot it. Yeah.
Dwayne Boyd is telling me the exact same story.
Oh my goodness, it was Catch 22 or Stage Catch 22, something like that. But anyway, we did this whole thing, and I pretended to be a guy that had been abusive to his wife, which was one of my good friends that I had to be abusive to. And Kanique Sky, remember her?
I know Kanique.
Kanique played my wife. Yeah, I know.
She
was in one of my first stage plays here in Atlanta.
She was on America's Got Talent. No,
American Idol.
American Idol.
Yeah, she was like in the 12th runner-up, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was my wife, and I was abusive.
Shout out to Kanique.
Yeah, Kanique, I love you. And her dad, I love the way she loves her dad. Her dad gave me some good insight on landscaping. You know, he's gone on to be with the Lord, but it was just really, really nice that I got to meet him. Really good dude. And so when that happened and we had that show, I actually was pretending to be this abusive person, but she was poisoning me slowly with shards of glass in my Kool-Aid.
Yikes.
And so what it was called green Kool-Aid.
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, because there's an old thing where the Africans that came over, and when they were slaved in South Georgia, they actually put shards of glass into their master's tea.
Okay.
And so in doing that, I also had the idea from, because I wrote the idea, I also had it from the lady that was like a black widow here that killed her 2 or 3 husbands with antifreeze.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where the green part came from, but the shards of glass came from how the Africans used to kill their overseers or their masters down in South Georgia.
Man, that is crazy.
After a while, it just started to cut away at the esophagus. And so I actually had a dying scene right there on the table.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So, I met you when I got into the studio at the new. It's not the new studio anymore. It was the last studio, and and you were you had the barbershop on House of PAYNE.
Right.
And I was just kind of blown away by how you kind of figured out the comedy. When did you realize you were funny? Did you have the comedic sense?
Somebody had to tell me.
Somebody had to tell you that too.
Me when I was out there on the road with Good Man's Hard to Find, because that character that I had to play was an alcoholic.
Okay.
So he was kind of comical. You know, for some reason or other, we think alcoholics are comical.
Yeah, some of your uncles is the funniest people in the world.
I was that uncle. That's why I think people still call me Uncle Floyd to this point, because there's that crazy weed smoking guy from the marriage counselor.
Okay.
But as far as what were you saying?
Yeah, House of PAYNE.
On the House of PAYNE, that whole thing happened because I had 3 other people in there with me that was all about we got to win.
Let's rewind that. Mm-hmm. How did you get that role? Yeah.
That was crazy. So I had known Mr. Perry a long time ago. I still call him Mr. Perry because he signed my checks, in most respect to him. But he actually saw me at church doing liturgical dance. I was playing Jesus, protecting this little girl. Mm-hmm. Now, he had known me years ago when he was just doing the stage plays alone. I can do bad all by myself and stuff like that. And he used to come to the house and actually would sit with my wife and I and watch the Oprah Winfrey Show on Mondays, because that was a dark day on theater days. And we were talking about collaborating and trying to do something. Mm-hmm. And he even introduced showing me drawings of the Medea's outfit. Mm-hmm. This is before Medea, so I'll see how long ago that was. And so fast forward to 2000 and something, and he saw me at New Birth doing this production where I played Jesus and Protect the Girl. And the next day, Alpha Tyler called me and said, you have an audition at 11 or 1. Which one do you want? Not do you want to audition.
You have one.
You have one.
You have one.
Because they just so happened to have called New Birth, and the only person that had my cell number in the administration actually gave him my number. 15 minutes, almost 30 minutes before the hour, I was in the parking lot snotting, crying, and praying, like, Lord, if you just let me be a good steward over this man's stuff, I know you're going to make me Lord over my own. And it's scriptural. And so I went in there. The audition, which usually takes somewhere around 15, 20 minutes, took like an hour and some change. Okay. Because I ended up auditioning for her. Then I auditioned for Mr. Reuben Cannon. Shout out to Mr. Reuben Cannon. Call me. And then from there, I'd never actually auditioned for Tyler. Okay. It was all taped and everything, like you know it is. And then he started explaining some things about how things are done around Tyler Perry Studios and this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay. So I said, I felt pretty good about the audition. Went home. At about 8:35 that night, they called and said, we want you. I said, want me how? I want you to be on House of PAYNE. And I started crying. Like, I promise I'm going to be the best that you ever had. You know, I'm going to be the best employee ever and all that kind of stuff, right? And I was thanking God. And then my wife started shouting out through the kitchen and all that. And then, like, maybe 15 minutes later, I heard something hit my doorstep. And it was 6 scripts.
How?
They had already had them hand delivered to the house.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, right? And so I was only supposed to be on House of PAYNE for 6 episodes. So we ended up doing about 42 that I've done, and in the whole series. And so it was something that started out to be just an idea, and ended up being a part of the entity of House of PAYNE.
So, so when did I know at one time you were the best friend, and then when did they discontinue and open up the barbershop to you, or you had the barbershop?
No, it was the barbershop first.
All right, the barbershop
first, and then they established it. And then a little small fact that a lot of people don't realize: I had a stage production, "What a Man Wants, What a Woman Needs." LaVan Davis, who is the lead in the House of PAYNE, he actually played my barber. Okay. So what's the irony of that?
That's crazy.
Right. So,
but y'all have like a real like
unique chemistry.
Super unique chemistry, like the honeymooners like type. It just
would
works.
Be such a smart idea to have us to maybe do the Odd Couple. Yeah. Because I had pitched that idea to LaVan too, and and also some other kind of we don't have any duos anymore. Yeah. Everybody's all about themselves as far as an individual.
Even in the music, everybody ain't no groups. Everybody's a solo artist.
That's true, and then quick to leave a group. But we have a unique respect for one another also. And we respect the other's ability, and we kind of like sync up at some point because we know what triggers the other one reaction, and he knows the same with me. And we just have fun because we've had that prior experience with the stage play.
Y'all taught me so much in regards to like, this cutting away at the ice, when we come into a rehearsal and the scripts, a lot of times the scripts are just like a frame of what's going to happen for the day.
It's not, it's an outline.
And then you guys would just kind of figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like everybody. And that's like a thing that I was talking about before to some of the other guests is that to go at that speed that we were going at, you have to have trust with one another. You got to have trust with Tyler. You got to have trust with everybody kind of, on the same page. And I think that's where the magic came from.
I mean, we had a crazy A-team. We had Deuce. We had Roger Bob. We had Reuben Cannon, Angie Bones, all these people that are right there, doing all these things, even Miss Maria and Wardrobe and all the other Ronnie Green and all the other people that were all in the background, all the mamas that I had there. It all just came together. It was just such an amazing machine. And you got to the point where it was memory muscle and it was a conditioning. Yeah. So you got to the point where you got up to speed, and then everybody was, you didn't want to let your fellow co-workers down. And a lot of people don't realize that during that time period, I was actually on the road with marriage counseling. Yeah. So I only came in on Mondays. Mm-hmm. So I would shoot like 3 or 4 episodes on Monday, then have to fly out that evening after getting my scripts on Thursday, studying them during the weekend while doing 5 shows that weekend, 8 for the whole week, study up Sunday night, get on a plane 5 o'clock in the morning, get to Atlanta by 7, get to a table read by 8 o'clock, then start framing it and doing blocking and stuff by 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock. We're doing wardrobe. By 12 we eat. 1 o'clock makeup, and then 1:30 we're shooting. We're done by about 5:30, and then I'm on a plane at 7:30.
All right, so this was like another thing. I don't know if I know the barbershop was there a couple of times, but when I started PAing at the studio, we were still shooting the audience shows at the end of the night. Right. And that was like a long day.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was very interesting because of how they were, and then you really were even under pressure even more because you didn't want to mess up because you would have to start over and the audience would be witnessing and it's like, they'd probably go somewhere like, yeah, the show was good.
And we were shooting a show a day. So it's just that's a lot.
That's when you were just shooting a show a day.
Yeah.
But I think the most that I've shot in one day was 5. And that was Love Thy Neighbor. We shot 5 episodes in one day.
I was hearing that was kind of tough.
I
don't want to jump to Love Thy Neighbor that much.
I didn't even know my children's name when I came home. I was like, come here, little boy, look like me. I know you got the same name. I can't remember it right now. That's how it was.
Let's not jump that far.
Okay,
so, the next time, so we were working on House of Pain, and then I think like McDear's Big Happy Family came down the line, and then we went on the road for about 8 months with that.
Something like that.
2
seasons at least, because it goes in season, like there's a winter, spring, and then there's a fall season. So usually 8 to 10 weeks in the fall and like 16 to 24 weeks in the winter into the spring.
I think I appreciated your comedy. Like the Floyd in the Barbershop was super dope. Like I love the barbershop stuff, but like on the road, that's really where I was like, man, this is dope because not only you're like one of those singing pastors, you know what I'm saying? You're like, he's funny, and then all of a sudden you start singing. You got this,
the lights.
got this beautiful voice, and it's just like. It really kind of just blow me away. But I felt like that. I've seen people on stage with Medea, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like you and Medea have like that same type of thing that you and LeVan have, you know what I'm saying? When you're kind of like figuring it out and you get some of the biggest laughs that I've seen while we were on the road.
A lot of that is trust.
Yeah.
That's comedic trust. It's also working well with, a fellow person that we're just going for the benefit of the show. And then also the difficult part is that you're working with your boss.
Okay.
So you have to also, be cognizant of that, but he made it so much easier because, we had the format, we knew what we were going to do, and he gave me freedoms.
Okay.
Which, a lot of people he didn't, may not have done that with, but I thought it was a compliment, that he trusted me enough to even let me try some things. And it was always, as many times we did that show, it was always a different show.
Yeah.
Because we still had an opportunity to, for different cities, we have different things. And when I could make him break, I felt like it was a good night.
And that
that was my whole purpose.
And I felt like I saw that. Like, you know what I'm saying? When he just be like, man, you a fool, and start talking to Tyler.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? That's like hilarious.
And
man.
then we're actually cutting up when they switched over to another scene.
Yeah.
And we're in the dark over on this side.
Yeah.
And our mics are off.
Yeah.
He's talking crazy mess to us.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he'll challenge us to do something. Like we had contests certain nights. Say, see if you can sneak this word into your dialogue. And so one of them was the words MF. So I had to implement that in my song without getting caught doing it and without the audience knowing it. And so when I did it, he just dropped his head, was chuckling, and he didn't even do his line, so we had to go on to the next scene.
That's what's up, man. So we were on the road. I forget what play it was. What was the play when the things were sliding?
I don't think I was on one of them sliding. Oh, wait a minute. No. There was the one where in New York it collapsed or something like that.
I know we had a bad night in one in San Diego, but that was like the only time that I thought you was on that one.
I was only on one with Medea, and that was Big Happy Family.
So I guess we're talking about Big Happy Family.
Yeah,
I guess we're talking about
that was a part where, like, when Chandra Corelli was floating off.
Into
heaven. Yeah, that was that one because something happened with the LED wall.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the LED wall, the wall. So we practiced. Mr. Perry was a little bit ambitious, and we had like these LED walls that nobody was using. Everybody uses LEDs right now, but this was like the first.
Even churches.
Yeah, like this, even churches in Atlanta. Even like only like major productions were using this, and we started using this LED wall, and it was like it just brought a whole nother level of production to the play. But a lot of times when they're doing on Broadway, they have like 3-4 months to make this work. You know what I'm saying? We had like 2 weeks to get it up.
Yes.
And they hadn't even had the technology to kind of follow where he was trying to go.
And you're talking about a $250,000 wall at the time.
Yeah. And it at the end of it, it was supposed to come together, and then everybody sneaks in the back, changed their wardrobe, and y'all came out and y'all gave like the big medley at the
that
end.
was the other thing, because our LED wall failed. That was actually I can't think of it, but Mother Gets a Job or something. I can't remember, but that was the one because I didn't do that one where the concert was at the end. Unless you're talking about
But I
Laugh
do
to Keep From Crying, I had a concert at the end of that.
I think that's what happened. I think they were running simultaneously.
Yes.
So they were running simultaneously.
Yeah.
All right. So I used to. I got teary one time when he started announcing that you were gonna, get your own show.
Right.
And then that turned into Love Thy Neighbor. And so tell me about that whole experience.
That was amazing to have gone from being on House of Pain, then being on the road for a while. And we had a conversation, me and Mr. Perry, at one point. I said, I would love to be at home to raise my kids. Mm-hmm. And so it happened. And I was able to come off of that Big Happy Family and start doing, local television right there. I mean, what better place to be in Atlanta, shooting a TV show that's shown all over the world, and still be able to come home at the end of the day and see your kids.
Yeah.
And then plus the amount of time that it took us to shoot 21 to 22 episodes, basically 2 seasons worth, it was like 2 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. So we may have planned and studied for 2 weeks, then we shot for 2 weeks, and we were done.
How tough is that?
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. We were like some old folks having sleepovers because we would go to an apartment of one of the actors and we'd be there all day. We'd chip in money, get food, never left the apartment. If we left the apartment, it's only go outside to get some air. Mm-hmm. We were lounging. I think I still have pictures of where we were actually laying around, feet all up on people's couches and everything, food and snacks all over the floor with just scripts. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes we'll be there and they would call us and find out where we are, and the new scripts would be delivered by car carrier to where we were. I mean, it was very engulfing and very, very, I guess, involved in our own personal lives, but we had to do the work. And then plus, where else are you going to get that opportunity to be on TV and shoot that many episodes and be done in 2 weeks, and then now you got the rest of your year to do whatever you want to because you would have made enough money for the year. Yeah. So that was the blessing in it for me. And I could go and do a vacation with my family, or I could go to assistant coach in baseball, take my daughter to a volleyball game, watch her in choir.
Family is very important to you.
Oh my goodness, it's everything because I mean that's my reason for living.
Nah.
It literally is my reason for living because if without them, that'd be it.
That's what's up, man. I had the opportunity to call Palmer in, you know what I'm saying? I'm a filmmaker, and I was like, oh, man, I'm at the studio, and everybody, just ask him. And I, you came in and you did your thing for me on speed dial, and I really appreciate that.
That's crazy. I don't even remember what I did. I mean, it was so fast.
No doubt.
When we were in the front of the house and I was the gardener or something?
No, you were the dude who was putting up the eviction signs.
Putting up auction signs?
Duh. But why? Mr. Simon was supposed to call me about my mortgage extension today.
About that phone call. Mr. Simon actually called me an hour ago and told me to go ahead and start putting up signs.
Man, no way.
Yes, way. The bank is having a cash auction right here on these steps on Saturday morning.
Damn. He could have called me about it.
About that phone call. It seems as though your phone has been disconnected. You know, we're sorry, but this customer is trifling.
That's what it was. Yes, I was nailing them into the yard. Yeah. You know what was so stupid? I was worried about hitting a sprinkler head because I knew where all the sprinklers were because I used to do that yard.
That's right. So Mr. Mark Swinton was the executive producer for that. Shout out to Mark. You know, gave me the opportunity to put a short film together, and it really came out well. It went on to like ABFF and ABFF Independent, and it was just an amazing thing. So
it was shot well too.
I thank you. I really appreciate you, on our morning conversations sometimes.
Because this is going to continue after this.
You know what I'm saying? When you get me from jumping off the roof in life, and I really just appreciate that, man. Man, I appreciate you coming down to this episode of Road to Hollywood. Dawn told me to tell you hi. She was supposed to be here today.
She couldn't even be here. What,
she had an audition.
She called in.
She had an audition, and we love auditions.
Yeah, this is true.
We love auditions.
And I'm going to tell you what's crazy is that learn that art of auditioning because later in life, I'm starting to learn it as opposed to when I was just auditioning those taped auditions. This is such a new thing, and then going in to do auditions makes you even nervous too. But just learn the art of auditioning and get some coaching. You know, like a brother like Dwayne Boyd that has this type of thing that you can go in there and learn the art of auditioning and to be able to be that person. And then if that doesn't work out, do like you and I do, create your own gig.
Create your own gig. I think that's a great point to just cut that off. Yo, this was really been dope. I really appreciate you. And we're gonna make some magic. We're gonna make some magic this year. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the best decade yet. Everybody, thank you for
this is the year. I'm sorry to cut him off on his own show. Ain't that sad? They probably edit this out, but
we ain't edit it.
This right here. Last year was the year of reconnection. This is the year of collaboration. It's continued over from what I said last year. The year of collaboration, because we all can eat. I'd rather have 30% of something than 100% of nothing. Because if I need him to complete my project, he needs me, then we got to be able to do it. Otherwise, it'll just be the best show that nobody ever saw.
And that's what's up, man. And I'm there for you. So when you call me in,
you heard this.
I'm bringing in my expertise and I'm knocking it out.
I just need you to bring your equipment in your eye.
No, I got it, man. That's what's up, man. Yo, thank you everybody for tuning in this episode of Road to Hollywood with my good friend Palmer Williams Jr. And we are out. So what you think, dog?
I mean, that's awesome. And you know, I love Palmer, so he's everything.
He's everything, and he started off at our roots when we started back at TPS, and you know, it's so dope to see the progression, you know, of him getting his own show and moving on to like doper things in life. So I'm glad that y'all tuned in to this episode, and we'll catch you next time.
Road to Hollywood.
Booyaka!